Howdy. Hope all of you are having a great weekend. No, I do not need picture in picture. Still just trying to pull up the live Sticks-n-Stonez on YouTube. Can't really do it because it won't pop up until I'm live. So that means I have to wait, but there I am. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I tell you, I figure today this is a tantalizing pairing that you are going to love. I've actually paired this cigar really a couple of times this year, but that's how much I love it. And it is super popular. So it is great because I pair it with different things. You can go back and watch all the pairings and decide what it is you'd like to try best. So, or try them all. Hey, that's what I'm here for. But I think few pairings are going to walk the line between spice and smoothness with the grace found in this one. And I'm going to try to look up. It's kind of like, you know, a woman says, hey, my face is up here. Try to keep looking at the lens. I always want to look at myself. But I do have myself right here beside me. So I can see what's happening. I'll even see if I can start the chat off with something, you know, anything about, I don't know what that is. We'll send it anyway. Yeah, say, all right, hi. So let me show you it does work. All right. I'm the only one listening, but anyway. So where was I? The spirit, I think, has got a very bold character. And that spirit is E.H. Taylor, Straight Rye. And I think I found a worthy companion for it in the aging room Nicaragua Maestro. Tip of the hat to Rafael Nodal. For those of you that don't know, Rafael is the mastermind behind these, and all of these aging room cigars, like this one is the Maestro, they all have something to do with music. So he is big into music, and he is an accomplished piano player. I've heard him. Unfortunately, not live, Rafi, if you're listening. But anyway, I love this cigar. It is one of my favorites. And I think together, tip of the hat to Rafi, that this is going to form a symphony of contrast and complement. I think the dialogue that will take place between the sweet rye spice and this earthy Nicaraguan complexity is going to be wonderful. Oh, I didn't show you the bottle. E.H. Rye. E.H. Taylor, Straight Rye. I guess you could abbreviate it, E.H. Rye. But now this is a bottle and bond. Has to meet a bunch of extra government regulations to be called bottle and bond. Bottle and bond is very popular right now. Doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just that there's been more regulations that you've had to adhere to. This is crafted from a mash bill that completely omits corn altogether. And it is the standout rye in the Buffalo Trace portfolio. It has a composition of rye and malted barley, even though we're not really sure exactly what percentage it is. And I think we're going to find out that it's bright and kind of spicy. It's going to have a nice complexity to it with some of the things that Kentucky whiskey is known for. But I expect a very, very clean complexion on this spirit. And I think you will enjoy it too. But let's go ahead and bottle some of that up. Let's get right into it. All right. Oh, hey, by the way, I hope you're hearing me better maybe than you have in prior weeks. I've upgraded the microphone. Tell me in the comments if you can hear me well enough. This one magnetically goes to my shirt. So I put the inside up under my shirt and it clips on the front and it's right there. So I may end up having to move it up farther, but I don't like having stuff up here to, mess up the picture, because this is such a beautiful picture right here, right? All right, anyway, on the glass, you can see that is just a beautiful, beautiful copper color. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful spirits I think I've seen. And it's got really good legs to it. It really clings to the glass well. On the nose, you do get a hint of ethanol. Pop-ups are happening. You do get a hint of ethanol on the nose, but this is a 50% alcohol by volume spirit, so it's 100 proof. You get something I don't know that I've ever tasted or smelled, in a spirit, and that is spearmint. It's kind of a sweety mint. And I get baking spices along the lines of cinnamon, nutmeg, maybe a little clove in there, some fresh grain, and a really nice kind of subtle note of caramel, just bringing in a little sweetness to it. Now, on the palate, yeah, that is definitely high rye content. I would say probably somewhere around 90%. Just my guess. It has got a lot of rye spice on the palate, but that's followed up with some nice fresh notes of orchard fruit like apples. You get some black pepper in there. There's a little bit of honey. There's a hint of oak. It's really got a lot going on. It's a good rye. I always kid with my wife. I had a Whiskey Advocate magazine for a long time. I probably still got it in there somewhere. And the cover was Rye's Making a Comeback. And I always tell her, I'm like, Rye's making a comeback. So, but yeah, that is a really robust, spicy, and subtle sweet. It's kind of like this, but it all just kind of melds together. It's got a really great flavor to it. It has a long finish, and the finishing flies. The finish is, they're probably wanting my rye. The finish is, it's kind of sweet, it's herbal, slightly dry, and then you get a hint of citrus as well. So it's got a lot going on there. I think it's going to be a good match for the aging room Nicaragua Maestro, or Maestro Nicaragua, however you want to say it. Ravi, you can tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Hey, and I'm still the only one on here. Okay, anyway, I may be a little early on a Saturday for people, but I got things to do and wanted to get this out of the way. And I don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. Today is hot here in Texas. It's muggy, which is unusual. And it's like right at noon. And I'm pretty, oh, speaking of, hey, Sticks-n-Stonez. All right. This is this is the shirt that I have. I don't know, because I can't see. I think that got it. I'll know in just a few seconds because I'll see it on YouTube. But Sticks-n-Stonez shirt that is in the Amazon store, Sticks-n-Stonez, just like it is on here, Sticks-n-Stonez, STICKS-N-STONEZ. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, it did pretty good. And it's got the Isaiah 6:8, 6:4. It's Isaiah 6. But anyway, It's and then the Lord said, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And the reply is, I am here, Lord, send me. That shirt is available on the Amazon store. It's been my biggest selling item so far. Father's Day is coming up. 4th of July is coming up. It comes in some really great colors. And it's all just the flag and Sticks and Stones on the front, and then that on the back. That's it. You'll love it. I guarantee you. As Justin Wilson used to say, I guarantee. All right, visually. I know I'm just kind of off track here today. Just running. Kind of in a hurry. Very dark, like dark chocolate, dark milk chocolate color on the wrapper. It is basically flawless in construction. It has tight yet visible seams and a very, very minimal amount of veining. I think you can probably pick that up. I think it's light enough. You can see that there's a vein right there. But I mean, this leaf is almost devoid of veins. It's one of the least veined cigars I think I've ever seen. And this is the torpedo. That's the Maestro is the torpedo. No, yeah, torpedo. It's 6x52 on the ring gauge. So memory is not my best. Now on the nose. And this is a Nicaraguan puro. The binder, wrapper, and leaf are all Nicaraguan tobacco. This was the 2019 Cigar of the Year, Cigar Aficionado, #1. It has got a really nice, robust earthiness to it on the nose. There is kind of a refined kind of sweetness to it, and some hints of like cedar, and maybe some hints of chocolate or mocha, something along those lines. I am ready to get this going. And man, we are cooking on time. Cold draw first. You get a kind of a wet earthiness, kind of a musty earthiness on the cold draw, and some really nice hints of raisin, maybe even add a little bit of sweetness in there, like a yogurt covered raisin. Yeah, there's not a ton of sweetness on it, but there is a little bit, just enough to let you know it's there. The cold draw is fairly simple, but I believe we're going to find this thing has more to offer when we light it up. We'll toast it up here. On the light, you get some really nice notes of espresso. I get some a little bit of chocolate. Puts off a ton of smoke. And then I think some something along the lines of black pepper. Some cedar. Maybe a little bit of saddle leather. And you get an almost kind of floraliness on the retrohale coming out the nose. with just a little bit of kind of a lemony citrus tartness. I was trying to say citrus and tart at the same time. Sartness, something like that. Those go very, very well together. Um, there's almost a, it's like there's a boost of, I don't know, maybe caramel. It's a really nice sweetness. I wanted to say like, like watermelon or something like that, but it's not really it's not along the lines of a melon. Um, it's a real burst of sweetness when you put the two together. And I think maybe caramel is probably the best way I could describe it. I'm gonna leave it like that. I think it's okay. I think I lit it a little wavy. Let's try it again. Yeah, the cigars, espresso and chocolate notes kind of coax out um, a deeper sweetness in the rye. Like I just said, it's kind of like a caramely sweetness. Um, and it does kind of tamp down the more dominant like pepper elements on the rye. Rye is a spicy spirit. It just is. That's rye. It's like if you're eating a Reuben, we've got the marbled rye bread, and it's got a little bit of spice to it. But yeah, it really enhances the whiskey's caramel and oakiness. And conversely, now, when you're looking the other way, I think the whiskey's spicy kind of brightness, it lifts up those heavier uh, earthy and leathery notes from the cigar, and that creates a really a real contrast in freshness, I guess. I really do love these cigars. Rafi, dude, props. You did a great job. I've had the Sonata. The Sonata for me is a little bit harder to get, uh, but it has a really good cigar as well. And then I may butcher this up, but dude, so don't get on me too hard. But I see you posting about it all the time, and we can't get it yet. And that's the Boheme. I think that's what it's called. Look on Rafael Nadal's Instagram or X uh, profile. Yeah, he'll post it at least 3 or 4 times a week, and maybe every day. He likes to start the day with a really nice cup of coffee and a cigar while he stares out at the ocean or wherever he happens to be at that time. And I'm like, dude, you're making the rest of us depressed. Wish I had a life like that. That is just a really, really smooth and mellow cigar. Not harsh at all. Um, even though it is a darker leaf, I believe this would be something that the beginner could get their feet wet with a darker cigar on this one. Turn that volume down just a little bit. I got a little like elevator music playing in the background, but I don't want them to give me any kind of copyright infringement because I'm playing music so I have something to listen to, not so you have something to listen to. Because when I started, the pool had just kicked on and wasn't bubbling yet. We got a spa pool, one unit, all circulates with the same thing, and there's a little waterfall there. That's what you hear trickling. It's not me. I cannot say enough good things about this cigar. It's really, really good. And if it's first time watching, this right here, it doesn't mean anything. I just like it. When I'm doing my pairings, I think it allows me to keep the smoke in my mouth the absolute last second before the spirit hits. And that gives me that melding at the exact right moment, as opposed to taking a puff, expelling it, and taking a sip. Because now you had some time that you're getting close to the finish as opposed to the palate. So I want to make sure they go right, you know. And I love watching the smoke hang in the glass. It kind of gives me one of those old horror movie, you know, Frankenstein, that kind of stuff. I just think it's funny and cool. Like I said, doesn't mean anything. But I have noticed, some of it depends on wind, but I have noticed that some cigar smoke hangs longer than others. So now that we're getting close to about an inch in, a really nice, fairly sharp burn line. You know, you got a little hump right there. Could be my lighting, but other than that, and just, let me hold this up here where you can see it. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful stacks of white ash. I mean, there's not even any gray in there. It's just white. It's beautiful. Commercial. Steve Martin. It's hilarious. Kind of showing my age, but I can remember when he was when he would come in and do like little stand-up sets, and then sit and talk to Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show when it was actually the Tonight Show. Hadn't been the Tonight Show since. Jay Leno, he did okay. I like Jay, and liked anybody else since. As a matter of fact, I cannot even tell you the last time I watched the Tonight Show. I haven't watched a single episode since the dude that's on there now has been there. I can't remember the guy before that. May have been. I know Conan O'Brien was in there somewhere. That may have been the guy before this stooge. But yeah, Jay Leno was okay. He was okay. Just can't beat. And part of it was the era that Johnny was in. We're not in that era anymore. You know, you don't. People come out and it's like, if you want to see some of the funniest that you've ever seen, go onto YouTube and Google some old episodes of Johnny Carson when he was when he'd be interviewing, especially Dean Martin. Dean Martin was one of the funniest dudes in an interview that you've ever seen. He didn't even have to be talking to be funny. I remember one episode, Johnny was talking to somebody else. I can't remember the guy's name. He's kind of a comedian. He was an actor. He wore glasses. He was a little bit older guy. And Dean had just been interviewed. So, you know, you just scoot over on the couch. Well, this is back in the day when you smoke pretty much everywhere. So Dean's sitting there with a cigarette and a glass of scotch. And he'll take a puff. And then the other guy was answering the question and wasn't looking. Dean would tap his cigarette into the dude's coffee cup. And then the dude would drink it. And Dean would never crack a smile. He just sat there because he's just drunk off his ass. All right. I didn't plan this very well. You may be able to hear that in the background. Testing the tornado sirens. I'm sorry. It's all right. I'm still the only one listening. So. But yeah, Dean Martin was hilarious. He's doing one-liners in the sky now. I came on early like this because I think some people are coming over to pool party this afternoon. I put in an HEB order. If you don't live in Texas, know about HEB, you're missing it. And hopefully HEB won't be like Buc-ee's and try to expand all over the country. HEB is a chain Texas grocery store. And while they carry a lot of the name brand things, they carry a lot of stuff that is HEB brand. And all of the HEB brand stuff is sourced from right here in Texas. I'm telling you, I've been saying this for a while. With everything that's going on around the country, Texas could just say F it and build that border wall along the Red River, cut us off from everybody else, and we'd be all right. You're like, wait a minute, how could that be? Glad you asked. Let me tell you. Texas is one of the largest states by land mass in the country. Alaska, yeah, but most of it's undeveloped. Everybody lives in a handful of villages, and Anchorage and Fairbanks. And then you got the capital, Juneau, that you cannot get to by road. You either have to fly in there or take a ferry. And that's the capital. But anyway, so you think about Texas. We've got the Permian Basin. We've got huge oil reserves. We've got natural gas reserves. We've got one, really kind of two. Brownsville has a port, but Houston is the main port. Huge port operation for shipping to come in and out. We've got the cattle industry, hog industry, chicken industry. So we got beef, chicken, and pork. Got a huge coastline, lots of fish, seafood. We grow rice, we grow wheat, we grow corn. I don't know, may grow cotton over down in the kind of southeast part of the state. It's a little more humid. I'm not really sure. I hadn't been down there. I've been along I-10 just driving, but I hadn't bothered to look what was out there. But you're like, yeah, but how are you going to operate? How are you going to operate a government? Well, we're operating a government right now, and you're not having to pay federal income tax or federal gas tax, even if Texas increased their tax rates. You'd still be saving money. We've got a full and functioning government. We have our own military that, like, says in the Constitution, or how the way the court cases have come out. We have our own military, even though they're not war fighting military. We've got civil engineers, medical teams, search and rescue teams, but they're broken up into an Army, a Navy, and an air wing. So the structure is already there. You can have your own military. We got a huge population. Even if you had a mandatory draft from 18 to 28 or whatever. But I think you could probably get enough Texans to be in the military. There's a whole bunch of us that either were or are in the military now in Texas. If they make me a major, light colonel, I might go back. I'm getting old, but I could pass along what I know. And to top it all off, to put the cherry on top of this delicious sundae, SUNDAE, we have $4 billion in gold. Let's sit on that for a minute. Oh, and let me also add that we have industry, manufacturing, Dell, now Tesla. I'll get to that in a minute. SpaceX. Who else has moved here? Toyota, their headquarters is here. Kubota, their headquarters is here. We have lots of manufacturing. we could exist on our own. See, I've let you kind of stew on that a minute. But it is, I mean, I don't like it. I don't, ascribe to us, oh, we need to just create an insurrection, nothing like that. But like, look, you other 49 aren't making it. This is too much for us. We're going to go do our own thing. Yeah, but what about White v. Texas? I understand. But the U.S. Supreme Court now might take a little different view of the White v. Texas case, which happened in the late 1860s or 1870s. Texas said it wanted to secede and break off, do its own thing, be its own country again. We are the only state that was ever their own country. Let me throw that in there too. We were our own country. But yeah, they might take a little different look at it now, because it says in the Declaration of Independence that from time to time, you have to sever the ties that bind you together and create something new. That's what we were telling the King of England. Dude, we're out of here. It's possible. Not to mention the fact, I mentioned we have beef. We have the largest, I believe I'm correct in this, we have the largest individual ranches in the country here in Texas. You got the Wagoneer, Waggoner, Wagoneer. That takes up most of 4 counties. I forgot how many hundreds of thousands of acres it is. The guy that owns it, some tech guru from Silicon Valley, he paid like $750 million or $1 billion, something like that for it here a few years ago. Then you got the 4-6s. Taylor Sheridan is just burning up the TV airwaves now with all of his shows. He owns the 4-6s. And there are parts of that ranch that you load your horses into a truck and you drive to the part of the ranch that you need to go ride in to round up cattle or whatever, because it would take you days to get there if you were trying to ride on horseback. Yeah. We're getting pretty close to the halfway mark. I'm at 33 minutes. So as we've gotten closer to the half, we've gotten some more leather and cedar and some baking spice to come in. That's really melding well with the spice and the sweetness on the E.H. Taylor Straight Rye. The profile, sorry, I'm sweating, has mellowed and gotten a little deeper, just as the rye spices have gotten, the edges have kind of given way a little bit to a more honeyed, I guess, mid-palate. And when you put them together, I get a little more of a clove and cinnamon type notes that really pair beautifully with the cigar. And it's the cedary notes, and I can say that there's probably even a little bit of dried fruit, something along the lines of cherries or plums or prunes, raisins, something along those lines. I can say on expelling the puff on that particular draw, you got, right as all the smoke left, just as I was bringing the glass up, you got a big hit of leather. This cigar will keep you guessing. And when you're doing them together, they do kind of deliver a kind of a dry, peppery quality that kind of rounds out the pairing and has a nice grip strength to it. And look at that. Still, just beautiful stacks. And, like I said, it does have a little hump, but not much at all. Probably my cutting, but pretty straight. I'll try and touch that up. I'm not going to keep y'all much longer. I know you got things to do, and I know from looking on my what am I looking on? Oh, my stats, that my average is only about listening to 16 seconds. So I basically get out, howdy folks, how are y'all doing today? And gone. Telling you, you got to listen to them all the way through. You find out a lot of stuff, not just about the cigar and pairing. You might not have known all the stuff about Dean Martin if you hadn't listened to it all the way through. I'm going to go ahead and cut y'all off right here. For probably another 15 or 20 minutes. I don't want to keep y'all that long, and you're starting to push an hour. I do think that this pairing has a beautiful quality of elegance and depth. The rye's lean, kind of herbally sharpness complements the cigar's kind of rich and earthy tones without one overpowering the other. They're both confident and have very character. They have a lot of character. There you go. And you really have to be patient to really enjoy them all. The rye is 100 proof. You can be careful with that. You can see I didn't bother adding to my glass because I got things to do today. And if you are patient, you will really, really get to appreciate the layered personalities of these two expressions. You really will. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah. Nice. I was just about to say, I'm going to go ahead and tap this off before it falls in my lap. At least it didn't fall in my lap. It got on my keyboard, which isn't turned on. It's my iPad. It's where I keep all my notes and stuff at. Overall, I would say this is a very high character pairing for those that really appreciate kind of a dry spice and really great depth without an overwhelming amount of sweetness. Just enough sweetness to keep you interested. So I give it a 92 out of 100. That sounds good. Again, Sticks-n-Stonez, Amazon store. On the back, it says, hey, my HEB order's ready. That's not what it says on the back. I just got a notice. On the back, it's got a soldier, desert fatigues with his M4. I was in the desert, went to Iraq and Afghanistan. And it has the Isaiah 6 quote on it. The Lord asked, who shall I send and who will go for us? And I answered, here am I, Lord, send me. It's been my biggest seller on Amazon. Go to Amazon. I'm not buying them like this. They're printed like this just for me. So go to the Sticks-n-Stonez store on Amazon and order one for your veteran or you today. 4th of July is coming up. Got the American flag on it. Got that thing on the back. The soldier, and the nice saying from Isaiah. People will love it. I guarantee you. When I wear it out, people are like, "Oh man, I love that shirt. Where'd you get that?" Sticks-n-Stonez. Go on Amazon. You'll find it. I'm telling you. There may even be a link on my profile on X. But if you go to Amazon, you put up in the search bar, Sticks-n-Stonez, you will not only come to the store and the stuff that I have, you'll also find the podcast, which is this, just the audio. So, and it's free. You can't beat that on Amazon. It's free. You can listen to all the episodes right from the Amazon thing there. So, till we get to be together again, keep sticks dry, stones cold. Have a great day.